In 1996, I gathered about 5 of us and we formed a team early in the year. My sponsor then was Solomon. He provided the tea and the breakfast and coffee. Because I was coming from a background where I know that by choice, on being a Christian, my future was limited in the hands of men except God. And my walk proved that that was the case. I walked in Ikara, where there was no road. I provided the road, the well, the school, the hospital. I walked in Cocin. That was my calling. I walked in Zonkwa, became chaplain of Polytechnic, lost my house and church twice. So I knew that, I never even knew that I was going to live beyond 50. But then God had an idea. He made me a bishop at 36. So I gathered a lot of my age mates in this city. And I told them what we knew that is now happening. Because by 1980, the whole of Zaria was saturated with Islam only as a slogan. By 87, I was the camp chairman. They were looking for me to kill because of some of the things that I said and I stood. So, personal wealth lost its attraction to me up till today. It doesn't mean that I don't dress well or anything, but that's not the issue. And at that time, 5 of us agreed and we said, okay, can we start writing to educate and sensitize? We're all in our 30s. By December, I called all of us together. By now, we were 32 in number. What you now know today as Plateau Project was my idea. Everybody had an area of research, and we did. When we got to a certain level, we now called some of our seniors like General Temlong and a few others like him to look at what we were doing. Where shall we go? Before then, in 99, the same set of generation that worked with me were set to take over government. In fact, they had won the primaries. I was out of country when they called me. We didn't have any money. And I said to them, look, what we'll do is, can we support Jack? That was the first thing in 99. That went to the wind. I bring that story because I know politics. I don't shy away from it, but I will never participate. And I will never be a card-carrying partisan. No, but I'm not shy. I have political ideologies, and I know what is good for humanity. And I will stand for it. What is most shocking is that the Christian politicians on the plateau, they lie worse than the unbelievers. I'm telling you the truth. They lie, they lie, they lie. I mean, I've been here since 1992. And if somebody stands up to say the truth, immediately the townspeople of that man say he's an enemy. He's an enemy. He doesn't like our party. He doesn't like us. He doesn't like our governor. He's our brother. In the same church. I'm raising this matter in the front burner because if I was a Muslim in this town, I don't have to fight Christians. They'll kill themselves and I'll get what I want. Because we are thoroughly divided on tribal lines. Taking the same communion, building the very walls that Jesus broke down of segregation, Ephesians 2. We are rebuilding it by ourselves. Now, how can you build a state like Plateau in that manner? Doesn't it sound a bell in your minds and in your thinking that we claim to be majority as Christians and yet we lose all the time? Can't you think and find out why? And I think we need to find out why. And it is the why that I believe the church is searching for here. Because how do we respond? Number one, politics is not lies. It isn't. Don't deceive anybody. If you're going to do politics, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Some of the senior politicians who come to me, I say, sir, you're not likely going to win because A, B, C, D, and E. Simple. Why deceive the poor guy? If you give me your 100 million naira, there are many people who will bless you rather than wasting it. So why don't you search for the truth? And I think the place to search for the truth is church. So I want to call on us pastors that we should pray and sincerely give honest advice. They may not like it. They don't have to like it. But if you tell the truth, you would have saved the church and other innocent people. Because if we are going to do what an attendant said, only the truth can do it. Because then okay, you say, this one has lost, this one has lost. Can we come and agree so that we work together to build our state? The concept that we developed that made Plateau Project is still there, still a written concept. In fact, out of my experience, I wrote a book, small pamphlet, it's not a book, God and Politics. Because I've studied that in Plateau State, any tribe that wins wants to see the downfall of another tribe. And I warned that if care is not taken, all of our gubernatorial candidates will always be scapegoated by the CFCC. And it is neither good for the Christian church nor for anybody. We must stop the idea of bitterness because you lost. We must not look for vengeance because once upon a time you got, I didn't get. Let us be genuinely Christians like the Bible says. Because what happened in the Plateau when I came here was that the only time you see people, they are Christians, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they go to church. So they are Christians. And there's no lie like that. That's the biggest deceit. Now even the bigger one is, everybody is born again. Not long ago, I arrested, including a pastor, 2 pastors actually, and people, and took them to jail. And some elders of our church in Plateau came and said to, you are our father, you cannot take people, Christians, Bible says we should not take Christians to court, we should not jail them. I said, who have I jailed? They mentioned the names. I said, no, I took thieves to court. If you steal, you stop being a Christian. It's as simple as that. If you lie, there's nothing like a lying Christian. There's nothing like a thief Christian. I walked into an office in this state. The guest chair was broken. And the gentleman was apologizing to me. Sorry, sir, we've not got allocation. This is your state. This is your office. Can't you buy a chair, for God's sake? I inherited 400 naira as Bishop of Jos. Nothing, no bishop's court, nothing except St. John's College, which was in fact down the hill. But in God's grace, we build schools all over the state, we build churches, we send children to school. We have over 500 orphans who are being fed every day, schooled every day. I actually teach English in that school. I teach SS 1 to 3. They are clothed, they are looked after. We don't have an NGO, we're not begging anybody, but God is doing it. What does it take? I remember when JCD came to see me, he was looking for me and found me in Kwatas. And he saw me in Kwatas, he said, Mangel, in Akasound, the people who gave me that land were apostolic. We built a school in Kwatas. He was so moved, typical of JC. He gave the principal league. I said, all of these people, they are my state, they are Plateau State, in Akasound, they are indigents. There are people willing to sacrifice for others in this state, if only, and I say if only. Young men, there, in all our schools, they're there. Plateau State indigenous. That is politics. Touching the lives of your own people. Giving them an opportunity to restore their dignity in life. Every one of my schools have built basketball courts. Young men are making. Young men and women from this state have been recruited in the USA from my cracker basketball team. Some of the coaches are here. That's politics. Politics is about you, God has blessed, looking for an opportunity to be a blessing to somebody else. That's all. It's not about accumulation and talking about, and in fact, it irritates me when people talk about security. If we solve security, then what next? And in any case, security is not likely going to be solved. Whoever tells you you can solve it, well, let's see. The issue is deeper than what you see. I remember only one man spoke out in '87, General Bobonya, blessed memory. It was GOC1, Kaduna. He said, those young boys who have been caught doing arson, they should be shot because arson is punishable by death. The whole Nigeria rose against him. How can you shoot children? No, this, that, and the other. Late Gumi went and freed all of them. Those boys have become governors now. They're in the Senate. Yes, sir. I'm talking about 1987. They're in politics. They own the political parties. Tell me how you can solve the security problem. You tell me. When they own the wires of power. This thing is going to be with us for a while. Only God can help us. But let me leave you with three things. I said I won't be long because I've kept for a little bit. I told Patricia, there's nothing to write here as a paper. This is life. It's just life. Number one, the church, when we were doing these things, myself and a couple of gentlemen here were very close to me. We're all in this game together. They all know. We all know each other in this game. We've been doing it for 20 so many years now. We tried to get the church to understand, please adopt a system where these young people will know who to follow for discipleship in politics. No church except the Catholic Church agreed. Only the Catholic Church. And perhaps me, because I have to have disciples. And unfortunately for me, they are not all Anglicans. So they know what we do. If I make a phone call tomorrow, I want to see all of them. Gaskia, they will surface. Gaskia, I'm telling you. Forget about who they are, SSG and anything. They will come. Including my senior. Because it's about our state. Now the church has lost that school. Which should not be a Kwashi school. It should be every denomination, every church. Gather these young people, give them a direction. And link up in succession to the larger whole. Let me shock you. One of the politicians here came to see me and I said, well, so how do you want to do it? I said, well, do you know I'm the patron of Keke Napep in Plateau State? He was shocked, but it is true, I am. 30,000 votes collected and kept. So that's politics. I'm involved. My basketball team, I'm their patron. All the basketball here, veterans and all, I'm their patron. I pay sometimes for them to go for their competition. If I gather all of them 9, as in Yako, they will come, sir. And I said to Zamuza, one. She took, Daddy, it's okay, sir. And he's gone. My brother Solo is my witness. And I don't know if it's here. Engineer Jambo. In 1996, we sat in my cathedral office to make sure that we won Just North. I called at that time Haruna Gini, Jan, they were all there. They didn't target with each other. So we left. I called 2-3. I had 60,000. I said, guys, let's go and take this thing over. That was how we won that elections, not with the help of the politicians. God just gave us. I have never met Christopher Jan. I don't know him from Adam. They brought him and we put him there. I've never been to Just Not local government office till today. Haruna Gini.
Number 4.
Thank you. That's how we did. St. Luke's, the walls of St. Luke's Cathedral were there with us. Church must really put its neck in. Christians must look for the truth. Tell each other the truth. We will solve it all if we tell each other the truth. It's as simple as that. It's very, very simple. There's no government that comes to power that they've not accused me that I don't like the governor. Not one. Each one. They go, they say, be careful, Kwashi, he doesn't like you. So I'm waiting for these ones to, when they win, they'll tell them the same thing. It's true. I'm used to it and I enjoy it too. Everything the women, the youth, the men, and General Temlong have said, Gaskia, if you want to save this state, that is the only way out. Because, let me end with my last point. This state, in 1936, a young man by the name John Amos Kwashi was recruited in Zaria City. No, he was in City years, then they moved to Usasa to start a central school in the central region. And he chose to start the school in Panshin. As its first headmaster, grade 2, Cambridge, 1936. I don't know this story, I was being told. From what, when I came here as bishop, he said, they tell me the stories of what Malam Kwashi did. Yahya Kwande, DIG Pam, Colonel Pam, all those who went to central school and became what they would become today was because the young man chose Panshin and Birom, Bachama, all came to find middle school education in Panshin. In 1946, they moved him away because they wanted to start Kuru Old Students, Kuru Students Secondary School to Kuru. So they transferred him to office and took it to Kuru. But 2 of his daughters were in that class that started Kuru, Helen and Mildred. So Kuru cannot be old boys anymore. It's always old students because of 2 of his daughters. And moved on. The educational aspect is the secret of our freedom, because that was how Jos Plateau State became the supplier of manpower to any government, whether it is DO. This thing I was just recently, Baba Maina was the one. I don't know what happened. We went to his house to tell. He started the story. Say, your father is the reason we are where we are. Education, my friends, and quality education. I regret that church schools now have become commercialized. It's a pity. It is wrong. I'm not saying that education is free. From the start of education, Jewish education, till Jesus comes back, no education is free. Somebody pays for it. And there are people in our church who can pay for the education of other people. My children, except one, all went to quarters. Even when my daughter went to Bethany, people helped me because the cost was unbearable. But I told my daughter who went to Bethany, I say, look,
You're going to meet with these children from Qatar, from Panshin, Benedict, everywhere. You will meet in the university. She thought it was a lie. They all met in the university. These local children, give them opportunity. They will lie down on the floor, but with good teachers. They have all become doctors, engineers, bank managers, and all that. If our politicians can see through the veneer, we can save this state. Let me end with another example. My dad wanted me to study in Cambridge. For some reason, I got to Cambridge. I came back very disappointed because in Cambridge, everybody was riding bicycle. Professors on bicycle. My room was too tiny. The bed was too small. I said, Kai, got an doubt TCN in that space. And I did. I came back, I told my father, he said, Panasson. But the whole world today, if you hold a Cambridge certificate, you got a job. There's nothing in Cambridge, not many industries, in fact, one or two in Ely. But just the certificate. And I have told every government that why don't we invest in education in this state, and people will come from all over this country. Margaret Thatcher, who sold milk for her father, she said anything that is good is worth selling. It was in her time that school fees in our generation changed. It used to be 1,000, 1,005. When she became the prime minister, it jumped up to 6,000, up to 10,000. Because she said, since everybody wants British education, we can sell it. And they made money out of education. We can in Plateau State. The first PhD, Christian psychology and biblical counseling, Dr. Gotom. You can go on first. Classical scholars, chemistry, political science, all, we are here. And yet, we can't get it right because our politics is wrong. We don't know where to invest. If we invested in education, Kano doesn't need anybody. The largest number of professors, female professors in northern Nigeria is in Kano. Any subject is in Kano. Orthopedics, anything. We can invest here. Finally, I think that the rebuke is enough. Now it's time to work. And the politicians here are the guinea pigs right away. So what do we do? Two suggestions. The first one is, politicians who are here, are you willing to accept the verdict of the church? Will you be willing without saying you are not liked because it is another tribe? Can we face you with facts and tell you, please, give us a chance, support this guy? Number two, the church itself. Are you willing to accept the verdict of the church leaders that are ahead of you? Because one of the things I have enjoyed in Jos in 30 years being a pastor here is that the politicians look down on pastors like mad. Honestly, they think we are illiterates. And if you don't visit them, they're angry. There was one who gave me a bag of rice for 4 years in office. I have been pursuing him with that story. He doesn't like it. I said, you gave me 1 bag of rice. You finished 4 years. Is it the same bag of rice that's still keeping me? No, because immediately you come, they think you are looking for something. No, we have ideas. We have things that we want to share for the good of everybody. And even if you give me 1 bag of rice, what will I eat the next month? So the church has a problem too, like we've been told. So I want to advise that we take heed on all the points on the youth, women, and security, and let us agree that we want to save Plateau State and serve Plateau State. So let us agree on it. Finally, in the words of Waziri Ibrahim, let Plateau State show by example politics without bitterness. Thank you.